We've all had that moment where we simply don't understand why our child is behaving the way they do. Maybe a book that they previously loved reading gets launched across the room as they shout, "I can't do this." Maybe their Lego tower simply won't stand up and is smashed. Or why won't they stop fussing their little sister? What we see in their moments is behavior. Behavior is defined as the way in which one acts or conducts oneself, especially towards others. Behavior is an outward display of inward feelings and thoughts. When our child misbehaves, as parents, we first read their words and actions, their behavior. But this outward expression isn't the full story. It's just the fruit on the tree that displays what's going on inside your child. Rooted deeper within them are thoughts, feelings, experiences, and their own development that's causing their behavior. As parents, it's too easy to respond immediately to that behavior, that outward expression. We might say something like, "How dare you do that? Get to your room." We've all done it, but reacting to their behavior at times means we're just addressing the outward expression. We're not taking time to understand the much deeper rooted reasons for why they're behaving the way they are. We need a moment to understand our child and why they're doing what they're doing. Let's take a simple scenario. Your child is playing Lego in their room and you come and join them. The play develops nicely as they're building. They're happy, creative, calm, but suddenly their creation breaks and their behavior erupts. There's throwing, shouting. Out of the blue, they say, "I'm so stupid, I can never get this right." And finally, that Lego creation is launched across the room and breaks into pieces. Now you step in. "Don't throw your toys, that's so rude." And we don't say things like that, not even to ourselves. "Now, tidy this mess, I'm going to make dinner." We've all been there, said those things, made those mistakes. But before we progress, I want us to understand we can change our habitual responses to our children. We're not stuck as we are now. But also, as we reflect on our children and ourselves, we need to forgive ourselves. It's key to being free and progressing in how we understand us and them. Back to our little story. So you're in the hallway about to leave your child, but you remember this: all behavior is communication. If we only see the external expression of our child, the throwing of the Lego, the shouting, the anger, we miss the internal forces that cause these outbursts. This moment of reflection for a parent is a moment that we can ask 3 questions. Firstly, what's their developmental stage? Is their behavior linked to some kind of emotional or behavioral development? For this little 5-year-old, this is the stage where they're quite independent and play is often serious and realistic. So, not being able to make their Lego very realistic causes some big emotions. Understanding your child's developmental stage allows you to understand why they're behaving the way they do. Emotional and developmental milestones are available on the Understanding Your Child's course and online. The second thing to ask is, what changes have taken place for the child? For this little one, their teacher has recently changed. They got an answer wrong in class today, someone laughed at them, and the new teacher didn't notice. So he's struggling with his self-esteem. Beneath the behavior was a sense of failure. The "I'm so stupid" came out of this lack of self-esteem from something earlier in the day. Remember that children can't yet express some of those inner feelings. They don't say, "I need to talk." They say, "Please play with me." When your child behaves poorly, ask yourself what changes are going on around them that maybe they're struggling with. Then make time to talk about it. The third thing we need to consider is, what are they trying to communicate? All behavior is communication. Babies cry to communicate a need for food. Toddlers fiercely need a certain colour plate as a communication of independence. A child throwing Lego is a communication of frustration. If we take time to identify the emotions on the inside that are fueling their behaviour, we get a more detailed understanding of our child. Not all bad behaviour is simply a child wanting to be mean or nasty. Sometimes it could be something like sadness or low self-esteem or worry or fear. When your child's calmed down and the moment has passed, using the phrase "I wonder" is a great way of getting them to articulate some of the feelings they may not have expressed yet. I wonder if your Lego creation not being realistic upsets you. Opening up these little moments for your child allows them to practice expressing the inner thoughts and experience, and as they grow, they'll become better at this. Creating a safe, contained environment allows them to understand themselves and in turn, understand their behaviour. So back to our Lego. After we've asked those 3 questions, we can see beneath the behaviour there's a frustration with the lack of realism, a low self-esteem from a classroom moment, and anger at their own ability. Taking a little bit of time to understand your child allows the child to feel understood and safe. A parent can use containment, reciprocity and behaviour management to bring the child through to a positive and peaceful conclusion. Sounds beautiful, right? But what if, as a parent, we're struggling to control our own behaviour? We have to be honest that at times we don't keep our cool. So let's take this concept of understanding and use it for ourselves. At moments that you feel like you're not in control of your reactions or your responses, you need to ask 3 questions. What is developing in my life? What's changing in me? Secondly, what's changing around me? Is there something I'm going through that makes me feel uneasy? And thirdly, what are my behaviours communicating? Considering some of our own inner thoughts, feelings and experiences helps us understand why we're behaving the way we are. We need to find our own safe space to process, and then we can understand ourselves. And from that safe, secure place, we can understand our child and help them thrive as young people.